Hey,
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Happy Sunday to you.
And happy Saturday to you.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, it's been quite the week. It's quite the week. And notifications are going off like crazy. Oh, there's like
Good.
pop, pop, pop in my ear. You all sit up on?
Mm.
Yes, and for
Yep.
those of you tuning in, we are live on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Twitch and Kick for both of us, both Rekkr's channel and my channel. We're over there. And well, we're just all over the place. It's gonna be a good one. I'm kind of excited. Like, if you were trying to do me in, I might just do you in on this one. Chapter 19 is quite interesting, don't you think?
Yes, chapter 19 is definitely interesting.
Yeah, we get to get a little psychological. We get to get into human behavior and talk about archetypes and figuring people out and paying attention to the room you're in and who's in it. All that stuff. That some of it is flashbacking for me to the 50th Law that we did, or the book that 50 Cent did with Robert Greene, the first one we did together.
Yes.
Because that one was more condensed. It's a lot of these 48 laws, but like trimmed down and like more succinct, But the things about reading the room and the people that are in it and knowing, who you're dealing with, that was all very prevalent in that book also. Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Did I lose you?
Hang on, I need to get rid of some dumb... Oh, wait, no, the AI mod got rid of it. Excellent.
Oh, did it?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yes. I see over on Kick I got one to get rid of. Oh, it did. Oh, it did for me too. Oh, awesome. Did you? I got an AI mod now too. Ha! There you
Oh,
go.
moving
Yeah.
up in the world now.
Yeah, you're not the only one. Oh, there you go. I thought you had to have a certain number of subs or something like that. Hey, Mrs. Cassandra, good to see you.
Hey,
Who?
Mr. C.
Mrs. Cassandra, I see what you're doing in that chat. You're sharing out the videos. Well, thank you so much, Sheila. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Rekkr and I both appreciate that. We're pretty
Absolutely.
passionate about these series. Like, we're hanging in there.
Mm-hmm.
We're not halfway there yet. We're a third of the way. Well, anyway, what do you say we get started? What do you think? There's a lot.
Absolutely.
There's a lot to cover on this one, so we hope that you all will buckle up. Ask questions if you like. If we seem to have missed your question, please just add us, and we will take care of that. All right. So this is chapter 19. Chapter 19 is titled "Know Who You're Dealing With and Do Not Offend the Wrong Person." It's like, do this
That's
or
an
else.
impossible mission for me.
Do you find yourself offending people regularly?
I find people either really gel with people or they hate my guts.
Wow, no in between.
No in between.
You know what? I kind of resonate with that one. Like, I feel you. I feel you on that one. Like, I seem to yeah. You either love me or you hate me. And depending on what day of the week it is, I care or I don't. you know? So I think that might annoy people more, actually. But anyway, so let's get into the explanation of this Law 19 breakdown, okay? So, because what Green has to say is that there are many different kinds of people in the world, obviously, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
can never assume that everyone will react to your strategies in the same way, or just your person. Deceive or outmaneuver some people, and they will spend the rest of their lives seeking revenge. Yep, haters gonna hate. And well, there are
And
wolves
they love
in
doing it.
clothing. Oh, they do, don't they? Some of them just make it their mission. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are wolves in lamb's clothing, so you gotta choose your victims and opponents carefully. I hate the way they say victims, like you're attacking people in this book. Like, like you have to attack people and make them a victim to get anywhere with your power. I just had to say that, Rekkr, because that's the one thing about this book that's really annoying the heck out of me. Um, but choose your maneuvering carefully based on who it's with, because never offend or deceive the wrong person. You bite off more than you can chew. If you don't know who you're up against, their personality type, whatever, what you might think is a joke, they may take as a personal insult of a lifetime. And if they're one of those insecure or overly sensitive people, you could be in a hell of a long haul of trouble and not even know
Mm-hmm.
it, like, until it's like too late. So you really gotta, especially when you're trying to build networks and you're trying to get ahead, like in power, or you're working on an endeavor, you really got to be careful. I mean, I kind of resonate with this one, um because if you don't take time to understand who you're dealing with, you're going to make mistakes. No doubt about it,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah. But that word victim, like, I don't want to have victims. I don't want to make people victims. It's all healthy competition, right? So anyway,
Mm-hmm.
in the book, um, oh shoot, um, I don't have my book up. Hold on one second. I did, and then I didn't. Okay, it went away. It got replaced. So in the book, he starts out. He being Robert Greene, of course, starts out, with that little judgment, and then he gets into talking about these archetypes, in I'm just finding this section right now. I'm sorry. I'm usually more prepared. I thought I was so prepared. Best made plans, right?
It's
Um, yeah,
it's it's between Christmas and New Year.
yeah,
No one. Brain cells are on holiday,
right. I
and
not
minds
not.
are in the ether.
I would say like I'm just I'm a little distracted, but no, my brain cells are intact because like actually I know what I wanted to say here. Like, oh, Green goes on to say that the preliminary typology, of opponent suckers and victims, that in your rise to power, you're going to come across many breeds of person. Um, the highest form of the art of power would be the ability to distinguish the wolves from the lambs, all these the foxes from the hares, and the hawks from the vultures. And he wrote that. If you make this distinction well, he goes on to say, you will succeed without needing to coerce anyone too much. But if you deal blindly with whoever crosses your path, you'll have a life of constant sorrow, even if you have a life that's that long. Very ominous threat there. Being
A
able to
little bit,
recognize,
yeah.
yeah, right? Being able to recognize types of people and to act accordingly is critical, according to Green. Okay. And well, he breaks down the five most dangerous and difficult types of person, or what he calls mark or person you have to deal with to get something accomplished in the jungle of the world or business, as identified by artists, con and otherwise, of the past. Indian, you know, we're going to break down those archetypes. So the first one is the arrogant and proud man. Now, the arrogant and proud man has key characteristics. They have a touchy pride. His self worth is dangerously tied to his public image. We all know people like that. They have zero tolerance, takes any minor slight, joke, or criticism as a declaration of war. Is disproportionate response. In other words, he doesn't just get mad, he seeks to destroy you.
And
The
generally, they're
trap.
the kinds of people that will try and make the dumbest jokes.
Mm-hmm. It's okay if they do it, but
Yeah, it's
don't you do
okay
it.
if they make a joke that like
Mm-hmm.
absolutely inappropriate, but as soon as you make an inappropriate joke at their expense,
Mm-hmm.
oh no,
Yeah,
heaven
like they
forbid.
exactly right. So the trap with this kind of person is if you offend them, fleeing is often the only option because he never forgives. And now Rekkr's going to read from the book the example, the transgression of this law. In other words, how you messed it up by not using
Mm-hmm.
it. That's what transgression means. Like you didn't apply it appropriately. You went off the track. Um, as an example for this archetype, the arrogant and proud man.
Okay, so in the early part of the 13th century, Muhammad the Shah of Khawazm managed, after many wars, to forge a huge empire, extending west to present-day Turkey and south to Afghanistan. The empire's center was the great Asian capital of Samarkand. The Shah had a powerful, well-trained army and could mobilize 200,000 warriors within days. In 1219, Muhammad received an embassy from a new tribal leader to the east, Genghis Khan. The embassy included all sorts of gifts to the great Muhammad, representing the finest goods from Khan's small but growing Mongol empire. Genghis Khan wanted to reopen the Silk Road to Europe and offered to share it with Muhammad while promising peace between the two empires. Muhammad did not know this upstart from the east, who, it seemed to him, was extremely arrogant to try to talk to an equal, to try and talk as an equal to one so clearly his superior. He ignored Khan's offer. Khan tried again. This time he sent a caravan of 100 camels filled with the rarest articles he had plundered from China. Before the caravan reached Muhammad, however, uh, Inal Cheek, the governor of a region bordering on Samarkand, seized it for himself and it executed its leader. Genghis Khan was sure that this was a mistake, that Inalq had acted without Muhammad's approval. He sent yet another mission to Muhammad, reiterating his offer and asking that the governor be punished. This time Muhammad himself had one of the ambassadors beheaded and sent the other two back with shaved heads, a horrifying insult in the Mongol code of honor. Khan sent a message to the Shah: "You have chosen war. What will happen, and what it is to be we know not. Only God knows." Mobilizing his force in 1220, he attacked Inalq's province, where he seized the capital, captured the governor, and ordered him executed by having molten silver poured in his eyes and ears. Lovely way to die, apparently. Being all blinged up. Over the next year, Khan led a series of guerrilla-like campaigns against the Shah's much larger army. His method was totally novel for the time. His soldiers could move very fast on horseback and had mastered the art of firing with bows and arrows well mounted. The speed and flexibility of his forces allowed him to deceive Muhammad as to his intentions and the decisions of his movements. Eventually, he managed to first to surround Samarkand, then to seize it. Muhammad fled, and a year later died. His vast empire broken and destroyed, Genghis Khan was sole master of Samarkand and the Silk Road and most of northern Asia.
Oh my gosh. Well, I wouldn't mess with Genghis Khan. Like, yeah, definitely. There was a mistake.
Some crazy amount of percentage of the world actually have Genghis Khan's genetics. So like 2% or something?
Well, they were marauders, and it was pretty. Well, you know the stories of Genghis Khan. It's pretty violent. It kind of goes back to like the worst of the worst in conquering your enemy, humiliation, deceit. They took their women, had children with all of them to decrease the bloodline, killed all the existing children. Yeah, diluted you know, that kind of stuff. Genocide. Yeah.
Around 0.5% of the world.
That's still a lot.
That's a crazy amount.
Of just him. Not to mention all his other, yeah. But yeah, so definitely don't piss him out. Yeah. Do you want to continue with the interpretation on why this fits the arrogant and proud man?
Yes. So, the interpretation. Never assume that the person you are dealing with is weaker or less important than you are. Some men are slow to take offense, which may make you misjudge the thickness of their skin and fail to worry about insulting them. But should you offend their honor and their pride, they will overwhelm you with violence that seems sudden and extreme given their slowness to anger If you want to
Mm,
turn people down, it is best to do so politely and respectfully, even if you feel their request is impudent
mm,
or their offer ridiculous. Never reject them with an insult until you know them better. You may
mm.
be dealing with a Genghis Khan.
Yeah, I didn't want to deal with the Genghis Khan. That poor Shaw didn't know what he stepped into. He really didn't, and suffered. Now, I'm almost afraid to ask you who you think could be others that would have this archetype, like because we're doing like one on one. I mean, I know what I picked as my example.
Um,
Do you have? eh,
hmm.
I, I'm just put you out of your misery. Could we not use don't the man?
Yeah,
As an
yeah,
example?
that we
Okay.
can.
Takes slights as personal attack, sees permanent domination, once offended becomes an eternal enemy. Um, Disrespect isn't an argument to them, it's a declaration of war. Pride turns memory into a weapon. Yeah. He's often quoting what people have said about him in the press from earlier days. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Well, then there's like, well, he's not, he's an arrogant and very proud man, but there's a variant to this one. And
Mm-hmm.
here's another example. Do you know who he is? This man is a volatile person, of course.
Oh yes,
He's
the
very
the
arrogant.
great
Yeah.
Conor McGregor.
Mm-hmm. He'd rather
Oh,
burn everything down than appear diminished. His ego requires total victory or total destruction.
mm-hmm. And by the way, it's 40 million. 0.5% of 8 billion
That's a
is
lot of
40
people.
million.
There's a lot of ancestors out there for one person.
Yep.
Okay. So Conor McGregor, he's very unstable. He has an unstable temper combined with just raw power. He is a force. He is
Mm-hmm.
definitely a force. But he takes any slight very seriously, and lashes out without proportionality, and that's what makes him unstable. The slight that might be just a minor thing, he will probably double down, triple down on his revenge of it or his counter
Especially
of
if
it.
he's on that nose candy.
Justin, you're writing the emails this week.
Ah, people think they'd get an email response from me. Ah.
I'm talking to YouTube. Like, dude, like, if they. Mm. Anyway, I don't mean the people. You can choose
Oh,
not to
okay.
deal with the people if you don't want to. But if I get an email from YouTube about our stream, you're writing the appeal.
It is in public record that he likes his nose candy.
It doesn't mean that they want us to talk about it up here.
Okay.
You know how YouTube is. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I know. I have some nerve with my reputation censoring you. I get it. I get the hypocrisy of the whole thing. But this is a very successful series. And for you that brought it to me, I want it to be as successful as possible for you.
Yes.
And, and I'm tired of writing those emails.
Okay, I'll call it nose glitter then. There we go.
Is he not
Now it
old?
sounds
What?
now it
Okay,
sounds all child all innocent.
it does. It sounds like rainbows and unicorns and stuff. But anyway, is he not even without that issue? He's still a very unstable and irrational man. He's
Oh,
a fighter and
absolutely.
aggressive and very violent and just he's always been at the drop of the hat. He could just turn on you like, as unstable before any of those other issues were known. Like I would say. He's got quite the reputation as being volatile, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. So then we go to, now Green is going to talk about, well, you read this one. For this is your slide to read for the hopeless, for the second archetype of person we got to watch out for. Some of the
So,
more populars.
the second archetype is hopelessly insecure is the hopelessly insecure man. The key characteristics are fragile ego, similar to the proud man but lacks the confidence to attack openly, simmering resentment, he won't fight you, he will sabotage you quietly. The nibbler sounds,
It sounds a little kinky, actually.
yeah, sounds like a few people wouldn't mind that. Takes revenge in small passive aggressive bites over a long time. Hard to spot, often hides behind modesty or anxious pleasing until he turns on you.
Mm. He actually sounds quite complicated, this type. This type does, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's see what example Green has given us for this one. Oh, it's an American example. You ready? Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So for the second transgression example, Green goes on. In the late 1910s, some of the best swindlers in America formed a con artist ring based in Denver, Colorado. In the winter months, they would spread across the southern states, plying their trade. In 1920, Joe Fury, a leader of the ring, was working his way through Texas, making hundreds of thousands of dollars with classic con games. In Fort Worth, he met a sucker named J. Frank Norfleet, a cattleman who owned a large ranch. Norfleet fell for the con. Convinced of the riches to come, he emptied his bank account of $45,000 and handed it over to Fury and his Confederates. A few days later, they gave him his millions, which turned out to be a few good dollars wrapped around a packet of newspaper clippings. Fury and his men had worked such cons 100 times before, and the sucker was usually so embarrassed by his gullibility that he quietly learned his lesson and accepted the loss. But Norfleet was not like other suckers. He went to the police, who told him there was little they could do. Then I'll go after those people myself, Norfleet told the detectives. I'll get them too, if it takes the rest of my life. His wife took over the ranch as Norfleet scoured the country, looking for others who had been fleeced in the same game. One such sucker came forward, and the two men identified one of the con artists in San Francisco and managed to get him locked up. The man committed unliving after rather than face a long term in prison. Norfleet kept going. He tracked down another of the con artists in Montana, roped him like a calf, and dragged him through the muddy streets to the town jail. He traveled not only across the country, but to England, Canada, and Mexico in search of Joe Fury and also of Fury's right hand man, W.B. Spencer. Finding Spencer in Montreal, Norfleet chased him through the streets. Spencer escaped, but the rancher stayed on his trail and caught up with him in Salt Lake City. Preferring the mercy of the law to Norfleet's wrath, Spencer turned himself in. Norfleet found Fury in Jacksonville, Florida, and personally hauled him to face justice in Texas. But he wouldn't stop there. He continued on to Denver, determined to break up the entire ring, spending not only large sums of money, but another year of his life in the pursuit. He managed to put all of the con ring's leaders behind bars. Even some he didn't catch had grown so terrified of him that they too turned themselves in. After 5 years of hunting, Norfleet had single handedly destroyed the country's largest confederation of con artists. The effort bankrupted him and ruined his marriage, but he died a satisfied man.
That's
The
a
interp
scary kind of person.
It is this quiet type that you don't think is going to get you, and then boom, the interpretation. Most men accept humiliation of being conned with a sense of resignation. They learn their lesson, recognizing that there is no such thing as a free lunch, and that they have usually been brought down by their own greed for easy money. Some, however, refuse to take their medicine. Instead of reflecting on their own gullibility and avarice, they see themselves as totally innocent victims. Men like this may seem to be crusaders for justice and honesty, but as they are actually immoderately insecure. Being fooled, being conned, has activated their self doubt, and they are desperate to repair the damage. Were the mortgage on Norfleet, were the mortgage on Norfleet's ranch, the collapse of his marriage, and the years of borrowing money and living in cheap hostels worth his revenge over his embarrassment at being fleeced? To the Norfleets of the world, overcoming that embarrassment is worth any price. All people have insecurities, and often the best way to deceive a sucker is to play upon his insecurities. But in the realm of power, everything is a question of degree. And the person who is decidedly more insecure than the average mortal presents great dangers. Be warned, if you practice deception or trickery of any sort, study your mark well. Some people's insecurity and ego fragility cannot tolerate the slightest offense. To see if you are dealing with such a type, test them first. Make, say, a mild joke at their expense. A confident person will laugh. An overly insecure one will react as if personally insulted. If you suspect you are dealing with this type, find another one. Just move on.
Yeah,
Just like, don't bother. Just carry on. Carry on.
honestly, like those people that got put in jail probably got the
Hmm.
easy end of the stick. Could you imagine if he was out for blood?
Yeah, okay. I
Like
can.
back in that day, oh, that con artist died.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, um, okay, we the police will try and find him. I can't find him. I looked under my notebook and he wasn't there.
I wasn't there. Yep.
Anyway, who wants to go down to the what's some old timey place that people would often go to?
A
The
saloon?
saloon? Yeah. Who wants to go down to the saloon and get a pint? You guys have
I don't
pints?
think in the Wild
Do you guys
Wild
have
West they
pints?
called it a pint, but like, yeah,
No,
okay.
you called it
It's
something else. I
a
can't remember what it
draft
was. A draft, that's it.
or a mug. Yeah,
Or a mug.
yeah. We don't call them pints or yeah.
No.
Mm. It's a very European term. Yeah.
It is. And
Hmm.
it is an actual measurement. And if you go to a European country, uh it is actually illegal to say that you're serving a pint if it is not exactly a pint.
Well, it should be. I mean, it's false advertising. I kind of agree with that.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
mm, there are some rather famous examples of hopelessly insecure men who were actually quite successful. I mean, actually, these archetypes are not keys on whether they're successful or not. These are all very famous, successful people that fit into these archetypes. And it's just like whether or not you should bother to mess with them or not, how to gauge the personality types and what you're dealing with. Well, like some rather famous, hopelessly insecure men. One really famous would be Will Smith, you know, the slapped Will
No,
Smith. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's not insecure at all.
Actually, that slap situation revealed he actually is. He has a fragile insecurity beneath that decades long of his history with that nice guy mask. Like, it did. Like, he was quite insecure in that whole
There
thing.
was a bug on his face.
Oh,
Will
okay.
Smith was actually being an absolute gentleman and getting it off his face for him.
Okay. Well, how about Richard Nixon, American politics?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
man was so insecure that he was so paranoid. He wiretapping everything. It was deep insecurity that he had to know what everything that was going on because, like, he was so insecure about his social standing because of how he came up in the world versus the elites of politics in the area. Yeah, he's quite insecure about his standing.
Mm-hmm.
In a modern day politician, not that we want to get into politicians, but then there's, like, I don't want to pick on him, but Ted Cruz. He has a reputation of needing validation, needing those pats on the head before he moves forward with anything. And he often will go from being an ally to an enemy based on where he's getting the attention. Mm. But here's my favorite one. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
You can't be blamed for this. I picked the images, like, so nobody be mad at Rekkr. But my favorite hopelessly insecure man
Mm-hmm.
to mention is Elon Musk, because this is a very powerful man with riches beyond what you can imagine. Everybody, like, he is the top of the top when it comes to the top 10%. But he has a very fragile ego hidden under bravado and genius. Public criticism triggers aggressive retaliation. Insecurity drives relentless competition. If you embarrass him
and
publicly, your relationship with him is dead.
and a thorough desire to show that he is the greatest Path of Exiles player
Mhm.
out there.
Oh yeah, because
Well,
they're not going to
the
seek
most
peace or consolation. They're just going to seek dominance. He's just going to kill you in the game. Like, yes, he is.
no, he
He's
just
trying to
pays someone
embarrass them
else to
all.
play it for him.
Exactly, but he still wanted dominance over it. He's like, so you can't touch me,
Yep.
like. Hmm. But it so bothered him so much that he actually had to go out of the way to pay somebody to do it because he's that insecure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hmm. Now, here's one. Now, the third archetype doesn't have a transgression in the book, but it is Mr. Suspicion, the person who's completely paranoid, Mr. Paranoid. He has distorted reality. He sees conspiracies, plots, and betrayal in innocent actions. He uses projection. He accuses you of the manipulation he's actually planning and doing. They're absolutely immune to logic. Trying to reason with them just proves you're a part of the plot. See? You drank the Kool-Aid. You're part of the conspiracy. You're just trying to turn me. They are dangerous to have on your side, actually. He turns on their friends first to prevent imaginary betrayals. They will be the first one to cut throats, thinking that everybody's
Mm-hmm.
just going to cut his throat. It's not, yeah, this is a very dangerous type to be around. And when I was doing a little bit of research, Rekkr, you'll be interested to know that there were some very famous people that came up, and I'm sure everybody's going to know these names. I have. The first one I'll show the picture of. No surprise here. Putin. It doesn't matter if you apologize to this man. His pride will refuse to correct the relationship. He sees enemies everywhere because he needs them to be real. He needs something to fight against. He's got a paranoid worldview. He assumes betrayal everywhere, and he will manipulate his allies. He is often the one to betray first, knowing that everybody. He's been accused of ostracizing friends and those that are actually his supporters before they can turn on him. We all hear the stories. I mean, he's had generals, people that work for them, his close associates, and just one day, just completely everything's fine, and then one day he just completely turns on them and changes everything up. He's that he's that suspicious, and he wants to get the jump on everything ahead of time. What do you think? Is that a good example?
Yep. He is.
Okay.
I mean, he is ex KGB, so I I could imagine he probably is pretty paranoid.
Well, yeah, because he knows how things get done, and he does actually get it done. He does do it, right? So, he was
Oh
a good,
yeah.
he he was a pretty good example. Another one in America, a little more popular, Alex Jones. What do you think?
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, he uh he is Mr. Conspiracy Theory himself.
Mm-hmm. Uh, San, Sandy Hook shooting was a plot. The moon landing. I mean, everything. JFK shooting. It's none of this happened. As said, he sees conspiracies everywhere. Even in the slightest little boring, mundane thing, he can turn into a conspiracy. And he built his empire on it and lost it.
I just have this picture of someone walking into his house, or like his son walking in, son or daughter, I don't know if he has kids, walking into his house and kicking their shoes off, and one lands facing one direction, and another one lands the other direction, and he goes, "Oh my god, you've got no clue which direction you want to go, right? Because your shoes landed like that. You're confused."
I've never heard anybody make a conspiracy out of how you take your shoes off before. That's pretty. That's okay.
You want to know something?
What? You've had that happen? This is sounding personal. It's like a personal
That
retelling of the
wasn't
story.
that
Yeah.
wasn't made up.
Yeah, I thought so. I was just like, wow, like that's pretty conspiratorial. Like, but like a little more, uh, one from history would be Stalin, right? Joseph Stalin, you know,
Mm-hmm.
from history. He used to purge and get rid of all of his most loyal generals out of paranoia and fear before they could turn on him, just for no reason, like at all. He was constantly changing it up. The loyalty didn't matter. It didn't matter how good they were at their job. He just thought that they were going to turn on him eventually and get rid of him. Um, Crazy. Um, Julian Assange, our famous leaker, who uh, he's he's notoriously famous for trusting no one. He actually eventually alienated everybody who tried to help and protect him, even his closest associates and protectors, um, because he trusted absolutely not a single person. Mm.
Wasn't he the guy that leaked all of the
Yeah, and these are WikiLeaks original.
yeah. I can see why he would get paranoid
Well, he spent a lot of years
on the
being
run.
told, yeah, and not able to go home or anything. He was exiled. Yeah. Mm. But there's lots of examples of these archetypes out there, and they're very powerful people. And you can see how you wouldn't want to cross them. How
Mm-hmm.
they're the way they view the world and their archetype personality, how they would react to such things. Like, it- this one's very intriguing for me. I'm kind of enjoying this one a lot, you know, because like, I like some of the examples. Like, it's all over the board from history to entertainment. Like, you can find an example of these archetypes in everything. And even in our personal lives, because remember, this series is to not just for business or endeavors and group management, but how Robert Greene's book was written, but to try to apply some of these in the learning of it to see how it's going. We can all recognize people in our lives that are fitting these patterns, these archetypes, these behavioral patterns. Yeah. I mean, I can.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm going through it, I have particular people in mind as I'm going, you know? And if you recognize these behavioral patterns of somebody in your circle, like, to be prepared, you know, because they can also
Exactly.
be the manipulator. You don't want to give your power to any of these types for sure. You're guaranteed to lose,
Oh yeah.
right? Okay,
Yep.
so number 4. I'll read the slide because you're going to read the transgression because they have an example for this one for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the archetype. That's the serpent with the long memory, like a snake. They are cold and patient, show no anger when insulted, smiles and files it away. They're the scorekeeper, remembers the exact date and time you wronged them years later. Delaying their strike, he waits until you are vulnerable or have forgotten the incident to strike. They're the most dangerous because you never see it coming, because you thought it was water under the bridge and everything was fine because they didn't react, right? Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see what he has to say about this one. He gave us a good transcription for this one too, right?
I believe so. So, where is it?
It's
Transgression 3.
164.
Here it is.
Transgression 3 at the bottom of the page.
Okay. In 5th century BC, Chang Ye, a prince of Qin in present-day China, had been forced into exile. He lived modestly, even sometimes in poverty, awaiting for the time when he could return home and resume his princely life. Once he was passing through the state of Shang, where the ruler, not knowing who he was, treated him rudely. The ruler's minister, Xu Chan, saw this and said, "This man is a worthy prince. May your highness treat him with great courtesy, and thereby place him under an obligation." But the ruler, able to see only the prince's lowly station, ignored this advice and insulted the prince again. Xu Chen said, Xu Chan said, Xu Chan again warned his master, saying, "If your highness cannot treat Chen Ye with courtesy, you should put him to death to avoid calamity in the future." The ruler only scoffed. Years later, the prince was finally able to return home. His circumstance greatly changed. He did not forget who had been kind to him and who had been insolent during his years of poverty. Least of all did he forget his treatment at the hands of the ruler Shang. At his first opportunity, he assembled a vast army and marched on Shang, taking 8 cities, destroying the kingdom, and sending the ruler into an exile of his own.
Whoa.
That's
So,
a FAFO sort of situation.
yeah, that's like FAFO, right? Like, just because he didn't say anything then, doesn't mean anything. Like, yeah, wow. Wow.
Yup.
Yeah. I love how you get all of the Chinese emperors and stuff. It's almost like
I get it.
the
I get it in
why is
every book, in
no matter
every
how
lore.
no matter how we flip the coin, it ends up that you get them. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
like, well, it's because you know why?
Why?
You keep telling the universe your favorite book is The Art of War.
Yeah.
Well, it's based on a lot of history in China, right? And so yeah.
Japan.
Oh,
Wait, is
Japan.
it Japan or China?
I don't know.
I
Let's just
swear
say
it was.
Asian. Can we just say Asian?
Yeah.
Okay. So you get all of these like hard to pronounce names, you know, hmm, which I don't envy because I'm having enough trouble with Wukong. It's like my sweet little revenge the universe gave me. But
It is
anyway,
China, ancient China.
it is China. See, I was right.
You were
Do I
right.
get points? Do I get brownie points for that?
You absolutely do. I have no idea
Good.
why I thought it was Japan. Okay, so the interpretation. You can never be sure who you are dealing with. A man who is of little importance and means today can be a person of power tomorrow. We forget a lot in our lives, but we rarely forget an insult. How was the ruler Shang to know that Prince Shi was an ambitious, calculating, cunning type, a serpent with a long memory? There was really no way for him to know, you may say. But since there was no way, it would have been better not to tempt fate by finding out. There is nothing to be gained by insulting a person unnecessarily. Swallow the impulse to offend, even if the other person seems weak. The satisfaction is meager compared to the danger that someday he or she will be in a position to hurt you.
Right? Because, even if they don't decide to come after you or to hurt you, you'll find yourself, if you need anything from them, or say they're the deciding vote on something you want to get done, or they have influence on the others that you are looking forward to working with or going up for a job or something. Like, you'll find yourself trying to dig yourself out of a hole that you just can't get out of with these people.
And you'll
Like,
also find them the one pouring the soil over top of you.
yes, try you dig your grave, and they're pretty happy to be the one to put the dirt over the top of it eventually, right? Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
agree with that. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, because like they're not actively going to do anything right away, but they don't forget. They do not forget,
Nope.
and they'll just wait. I have like, let's
And
see,
they're always happy to wait.
right, and they're cold and determined. You know, people say that Taylor Swift is like that. Because like you ever notice that whenever she breaks up with somebody, there's a song about it. Like she don't forget. Like she like puts it out there.
Yeah.
She knows who wronged her. She puts little things in her songs and all like that. Um,
The
but two
latest
of your
album is
favorites are on
diabolical.
this list, and that you could talk about. Like I know those two names came up. Two people, Mrs. Cassandra. I hate to tell you, but your boo 50 Cent. Like he is into the long game. He's still to
He
this day.
petty.
He petty. He petty. Look what he
He,
just did to
he, he
Diddy.
got that
At
pettiness in him.
Yes, look what he just did with Diddy because the opportunity arose. He did not forget the slights. He did not forget the insults from years ago. And they've been going at each other, and he did it good. Like he has he's famous for this relentless career long trolling of anyone who crosses him. Ja Rule knows that, right? No, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Diddy's learning, yeah, about that.
Mm-hmm.
But your boy's on the list.
Eminem.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now come on,
Yep.
you can't deny that. Like, he's made a career
Oh,
of it.
he once again, he has the pettiness. If pity was like a sickness, they both have it.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
absolutely have it.
But they do it so well. Like I don't blame them. Like
Oh,
that's what they
absolutely.
do. In the genre of entertainment that they're in, it's what they do. It's what
Mm-hmm.
they do. Um, yep, indefinitely. They do it really well. I mean, Eminem is a master. He puts those things in there like 20 years later. But I have one for you. With
Mm-hmm.
one we somebody that well, he does it. We're not really happy how he does it because we think he's more the serpent type. He's a snake. He's like a behind the scenes kind of person. He's never out front about anything. At least the long memory part with Eminem and 50 is very evident, but they're actually out front about how they feel about people. They ain't sneaky about it. You know what I mean? They are
Mm.
out front, you know. But not this guy. Not this guy. you know, you
I mean, he did try to be out front with it, and then he got put in his place.
well, he did because like with the Kendrick Lamar one, they did go toe to toe, but usually that's not Drake's style, right? Like he slides stuff in after the fact, after everything settles down, he's still talking about it. Because Kendrick can't be saying nothing. And Drake is still like putting little stuff out there, like trying to make these little digs. And he does it in such a way like you're wondering, is it a dig about this or is it not? Like he's never very forward about it. He's kind of mamby-pamby. I mean, there's another really foul word for it that I would say if it wasn't YouTube, that you could put on Drake. It's like he's a little wimpy about it. He doesn't show anger on the surface. He's too worried about how people will perceive him, But he does calculate in a way. And for years, he's been putting little digs out on people all over the place. He doesn't forget anything. He doesn't. And he puts these little slights in there,
I heard an amazing line from him. I saw it was a small clip that was taken from one of his streams. He said, and I quote, "I am one of the most profound rappers out there."
He what? Wait, he's profound?
He is sorry, not one of the most. He is the most profound rapper out there.
No. Profound, like in lost and found? Does he mean like, does he not know what that word actually means?
I mean, I'm sure he could ask one of his ghostwriters.
Like some PR person wrote that for him. He is not the most profound rapper. He is like, his lyrics are so wishy-washy. Even when he has something to say and he's like acting like he has something big to say, it's nothing but bubblegum, like wishy-washy. Like, no, really?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm stunned. I'm absolutely stunned on that. My gosh.
Yes.
Damn. Well, we got one more to go. I don't know. I I don't know about this one. Okay. I think he's sneaky. I really do. But a guy who's out front about it and has the long plan is Rupert Murdoch. Would you agree?
Yes.
He's a snake. And he does do the long plan. If you cross Rupert Murdoch, he's going to use his industry, which is media, by the way. This is the newspaper man. He tied up like everything to do with publication. But if you cross him, he will institute revenge on you like forever, throughout, everywhere. He's not going to take it lightly. It's a wound that'll never heal. He's got the long game. He's got the long memory. Yeah, and you're just gonna be done for,
Mm-hmm.
It's explicitly dangerous because he controls the information landscape, whether or not you get good press or bad press, or whether or not things get reported with you or not. He could kill a story, or he could put it everywhere in the world. Like, that's the power this man had, and he did everything behind the scenes. That he wasn't out there talking crap ever. But if he was out to hurt you, you knew it. You absolutely knew it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't stand a chance.
No. I mean, and when it comes to these archetypes and these famous people, how would any of us have a chance? Seriously. I see. It was like, all right, let's see. Oh, okay. So these two are very famous for actually holding grudges. Charlie Sheen, he's also very volatile. He retaliates with before thinking. It comes fast and wide, his retaliation, but it will keep coming like every time he sees you. He does not let it go. Like he's not going to forgive you and move on. At least that's the reputation he has anyway. And Winfrey too. Like you're not going to see anything coming. You think that nothing happened because she went quiet, and that might be a mistake. And then all of a sudden you realize your phone's not ringing anymore, and all your deals are canceled, and and she's just blocked you from access. Like totally, like she does
Nothing
hold
like
a
people
grudge. Yeah.
blackballing.
Yep, they see it like, yep. Just because you think it's over doesn't mean it is. This is gonna rear its ugly head. Like you got to be really careful. If you're going to be in big business and you're going to be making moves like this, or you're anything where you're dealing with lots and lots of people, and you need people to get to accomplish your goals, right? You know,
Mm-hmm.
people that vote, people that decision makers, people that help promote things forward. If things are based on reputation, you really do have to become acutely aware of the people around you and how everybody fits into this. Like these are only the archetypes that are the most dangerous that he's talking about. Like the ones that really, if you even trip up slightly, you're going to have a problem forever. And I think that's why he's mentioning them, because they will be the ones that damage you the most forever. Like there's no forgiveness, there's no working back, there's no second chance with any of these archetypes. Have you noticed that? Like there's never a second chance with these guys.
Nope.
They're like,
And I would hate to be. I would hate to be on the receiving end of that. That's brutal.
yeah, yeah. So I think that's the whole warning of this chapter with Green. And then to apply it to real life, well, it kind of goes with the simple principle of like, don't overreact to anything. Be careful what you say and do. It will come back to you. Sometimes less is more. Just because you
Mm-hmm.
think somebody's saying something against you doesn't mean you should like go head on and tear their head off and all of that. Maybe think about it a little bit. Maybe distance yourself from them, but your reaction is what you're going to get judged for. How,
Absolutely.
it, right? So you've got to be in total control of yourself at all times in dealing with these people. And it's probably not easy. And believe me, I can imagine it's like horrific in some cases. I mean, sometimes you just can't win. Sometimes silence is best. Sometimes no reaction is the best reaction, at least a public one, because like, it's only going to be used against you in some way with these archetypes. Uh, in real life, even with family members and all. Do you have a relative? I mean, maybe you guys, out there on YouTube later listening, in the socials and everything, and those of you in the chat, uh, you ever have like a situation with a relative, a family member, a relative, a friend, or some coworker, to where everything you seem to do, they take offense to? Like there's just something about you that just rubs them the wrong way. You know, Sometimes it's best to just distance yourself a little bit from that. Stop provoking them, even though you know you're not doing anything wrong. You know, like I had a relative like that. No matter what, anything could set this person off. Like they just were constantly looking for a fight. You know what I mean? It is just like, even if they said the
Mm-hmm.
stupidest, dumbest thing, I would not correct them. Like, no matter how wrong or insulting or whatever, I would not bother to correct them because they were really just spoiling for a fight. Like, and it would become this whole big thing. And you just learn to go, I'm going to be a duck, water off the bag. I am paying no attention to this whatsoever. I'm going to just like pretend I didn't hear what I heard. Like, no, not going to get me, because do you know how many family functions I would spend actually going head to head with this person and just end up getting all frustrated for no reason at all? Because they were just stubborn and arrogant and, just that was their form of entertainment. That's how they amused themselves. Like, Who's got
Yep.
time for that? Who has time for that? Really? Oh, you must know people like that. I mean, you also have encountered people like that.
I have, yes. And they're always interesting to have around.
Well, how do you deal with it? Like, how would you deal with it?
Um, I just forget.
You just ignore that they did it?
I ju-
Just,
just, I just, I just, I give it no energy.
yeah, I had to learn to do that. Yeah. Probably the best way, I think.
Yeah, I have, I don't have enough energy to begin with, so I'm not gonna give people more of my energy.
Yeah. True. Yeah. You won't want to sacrifice your peace for it, for sure. I would definitely.
Well, you
Okay.
end up just losing so much time. Just even just thinking about it. How many people out there have have had someone behaving like just dumb, and you it might not affect you to begin with, and then maybe it was the following day, it just sticks with you, and you it might just the thought might pop in your head in the morning, and it sticks with you for the rest of the day, and before before you realize it, it's been like 6 hours and you've been mulling over some really dumb thing.
Yeah.
It's just
You
too
know,
much energy.
it is. And that's where you know that you do have the control on whether you give it that kind of energy or not. Like, that's where you decide whether you're going to have it ruin your day or not, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
that is the one thing about getting your power back that I learned over the last few years. And you and I have talked about this in the past, and we've talked about it out here too. That knowing that reacting to these situations and all is you actually putting yourself there, and actually, in a way, you're kind of hurting yourself and putting yourself in it. And you actually have control whether to make that decision or not. Like, your reaction in the time you give to it, you have total control over all of that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and realizing that and taking that power back and taking that control back of that and not giving it the time is a very powerful thing. It's a very
Absolutely.
reinforcing for your mental health, for your personal power, or in the situation. You get to decide, what your inner circle is, right? Who gets in
Mm-hmm.
your head, what you're listening to, what you're doing, the environment that you're around. Um, that's a good thing about this book. It keeps reminding me of that like how much we weigh in is really up to us on an individual basis. I mean, people will go out of their way to goat you. They will go out of their
Mm-hmm.
way to try to get reaction from you. They will try to trip you up. People, there's some not so great people out there. There are people who just find it amusing to do this to people. Like, I don't understand. They must be bored. I don't know. Like, you know, uh, I think there's a lot better things to do with your time in the world. But hey, that's just me. Um, you just got to be prepared, because you are responsible for the things that you do about it, because you know how that goes, right? Like, it doesn't matter what they do to
Mm-hmm.
you. Your reaction is what you're responsible for, and two wrongs never make a right. So you go and tit for tat for them, like you're just lowering yourself to their level, in, like, you know and falling prey to their manipulations in the situation,
Yes.
actually. And
And more
you don't.
often than not, when if you do try and go tit for tat, you're not thinking straight. Like,
Mhm.
there's never been a time where anyone I know has ever made a smart decision whilst in the moment of being upset with someone.
Right. Well, with all of this back and forth, or when you feel targeted, or you're feeling like you're defending yourself, what you mean is in a reactionary situation, right? When
Yeah,
you are reacting to something, it's very hard to think clearly. And in
very,
hindsight, you will probably come up with a better solution than what you're doing in that moment. Yeah.
very, 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 very few people are even remotely competent in doing something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you are very lucky if you are if you happen to be one of those people. Um, but never think that you are, because if you think that you're one of those people that can make a good decision in the heat of the moment, you're probably not.
You're not very self-aware. You're being a little arrogant there. You might be one
Yeah.
of these archetypes we're talking about. You might be a
Mm-hmm.
dangerous one, because yeah, Delulu is part of the dangerous character category for sure. You
It
know,
is.
yeah, it is. No,
It's the
so
most dangerous.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes,
Although,
and that
to be
actually brings
fair,
us to this one. These are the people who aren't very self-aware. Category 5, like,
yes.
yeah. This is your slide because I'm going to have the example, I think.
Okay. So the plain, unassuming, and often unintelligent man. Key characteristics: the wall. He is too literal or dense to understand your subtle manipulation. The bait fails. You set a complex trap, Law 21, but he ignores it because he doesn't get it. Unpredictable. His actions are chaotic, not because he is smart, but because he is oblivious. Waste of time. Do not try using sophistication on him. Use a hammer. We are
Okay.
not. We do not condone the use of force.
No, we don't recommend the hammer method. Maybe just don't waste your time. Walk away. Like they're not gonna get it. And it says often on intelligent men. It doesn't mean that they're not intelligent. This category would also apply to the person who just doesn't play the game.
Mm,
Like they're just not in it. They they're just not in it. They see you coming a mile away and they don't waste their time. You got to watch for that one too. Quiet, reserveful, peaceful people. You know, the people in the Zen and this is my mental health and this is that. And they're just like, you can just waste all the time in the world trying to get to a person like that. And they're just doing their thing. They are not
yep.
in the game for whatever venture you've got up for them. You
They're the
can't
kind of
entice them.
person
Yeah.
that walks down the road and like a piano falls just behind them, and they don't even notice that, and they keep
They just keep
walking.
going. Yeah. The person that doesn't let you affect their day. Like they're
They
just like,
have
yeah.
they have the devil's luck. You don't
Luckily.
and and just a pro tip to anyone out there: if you ever meet someone that has that kind of luck, and I've met people like this,
Hmm.
don't mess with them.
Right.
Their luck is real.
It,
I don't I'm not a superstitious person at all, even remotely, but dear God, is their luck freakish.
it is. Well, they take it, they're unassuming, and sometimes the universe takes care of people like that. Good people,
It's not the universe taking care. It is reality. Reality just gives them a nice cushy just everything.
Okay.
If they fail, it's upwards. If they succeed, it's upwards, no matter what.
That is lucky. Yeah. Like I guess we all know somebody like that. All right. So let's go on with Robert Greene's example for this kind of person. Okay. And he goes
Mm-hmm.
back to the 1920s. And it had been a particularly bad one for in the 1920s for American art dealers. Big buyers, the robber baron generation of the previous century, were getting to an age where they were dying off like flies. And no new millionaires were emerging to take their place. And so things were so bad that a number of major dealers of art decided to pool their resources. An unheard of event, since art dealers usually get along like cats and dogs. Joseph Devine, now we've heard this name before in examples, was an art dealer to the richest tycoons of America, was suffering more than the others that year. So he decided to go along with the alliance. The group now consisted of 5 of the biggest dealers in the country. And looking around for a new client, they decided that their last best hope was Henry Ford, often then the wealthiest man in America. Ford had yet to venture into the art market, and he was such a big target that it made sense for them to all work together on bringing him in. The dealers decided to assemble a list, the 100 greatest paintings in the world, all of which they happened to have in stock between the 5 of them, and to offer the lot of them to Ford. With one purchase, he could make himself the world's greatest collector. The consortium worked for weeks, producing a magnificent object of a 3-volume set of books containing beautiful reproductions of the paintings, as well as scholarly texts accompanying each picture. And next, they made a personal visit to Ford at his home in Dearborn, Michigan. There, they were surprised by the simplicity of his house. Mr. Ford was obviously an extremely unaffected man. Ford received them in his study. Looking through the book, he expressed astonishment and delight, and the excited dealers began imagining the millions of dollars that would shortly flow into their coffers. Finally, however, Ford looked up from the book and said, "Gentlemen, beautiful books like these with beautiful colored pictures must cost an awful lot." "But Mr. Ford," said Duveen, "we don't expect you to buy these volumes. We got them up especially for you to show you the pictures. These books are a present to you." Ford seemed puzzled. "Gentlemen," he said, "it is extremely nice of you, but I really don't see how can I accept a beautiful, expensive present like this from strangers." Devine explained to Ford that the reproductions in the books showed paintings they had hoped to sell to him. Ford finally understood, and he said, "But gentlemen, what would I want with original pictures when the ones right here in these books are so beautiful?" Dun dun dun. Boy, they must have been sitting
I
there with their
love
mouths
that.
open. Yeah, right? They must have been sitting. Can you just imagine them? They were just like, damn. Like, why buy the original? I got the picture here. I don't care. Basically, Henry Ford said, "I don't care about art. Like, you don't see art in this house. Like, I have a simple life. Like, what do I want millions of dollars of art for?
He did
Where am I going to
Control
put
C
it?"
to. He did Control C, Control V with NFTs back in the
Mhm.
day.
And he did. And they already gave him 3 volumes of 100 of the most beautiful and exquisite paintings in the world, which he now could look at and get just as much joy from because he really didn't aspire to own them or to have them or to have the originals in his home. Like, he just wasn't part of that. They never bothered to find out, like, you think because they were like the 5 of the biggest art dealers, they would know that nobody had sold Henry Ford any art ever, and that he was like the richest man right now, and nobody has a history with him of selling any art whatsoever. Doesn't that tell you something?
Yup.
Why would you bring up think he would buy 100 of the most expensive, exquisite pieces of art in the world? They didn't do their research. They were all just desperate. They gave him a beautiful
Yup.
gift. I mean, Henry Ford's very happy with the volumes of books. He could put them in his library and pull them out and look at them whenever, like show them off.
You can be like, hey, look, this is Look at the Mona Lisa. Look at the Mona Lisa. Yeah,
Isn't that gorgeous? Yeah.
I got it. It's beautiful.
So,
And
and that,
you know, back then, like any printing a book to that level, where for like art, as like an art
mhm.
example book,
Right,
that
like
cost
yeah.
so much.
Well, and Henry Ford recognized that and said, "This is beautiful. Like this is very expensive. Like what, you know?" And they said they was giving
Mm-hmm.
it to him as a gift, and he's like, "How could I take such an exquisite gift from strangers?" But I bet you he did keep it. I bet you he
Oh,
did.
100% he kept
Yeah,
it.
I'll bet you he did. Yeah,
I would have.
yeah.
I probably would have done the exact same thing as him. Why
I
would
mean,
I
what would
want to
those?
pay
They're
for
not going to try to take it back now, right? After they pick their jaws up
after
off
they
the
said it
floor,
was a gift?
right? And then they go, "Oh well, if we can't fleece you for millions of dollars for this other artwork, we're just taking the gift back." Like, because you're like, yeah. I don't think he would have cared. I think it was like, all right, whatever, get out.
Well,
See ya.
Henry Ford made his money through very legal means. As far
He
as I
was
know, there was no he never
a simple, honest man,
yeah,
definitely.
he never had to launder any money.
Or
So
swindle
of course,
or
yeah, or
connive.
swindle or anything like that. So of course he's not going to care about art. Everyone
Mhm.
knows that everyone knows that the rich people that buy art are doing it to launder money. It's
Henry
it's
Ford.
like one of the biggest open secrets in the entire world. Oh,
Well,
that
and he
art's
didn't
worth
care
20
about
million?
prestige either.
No,
He
he
was
didn't.
very simple. He, as long as he had a good house, food on the table, everybody was taken care of. That was enough for him. He
Mhm.
didn't. He was very wealthy after the automobile and all of that, and he still didn't flaunt it. He's a simple person. Like he just what
Exactly.
they had. But I kind of feel bad for Mr. Devine. Like in the interpretation, they explained it. Joseph Devine, remember, he prided himself on studying his victims and clients in advance. Remember, he sold the Eiffel
Mhm.
Tower, figuring out their weaknesses and peculiarities, of their tastes before he ever met them. He was driven by desperation to drop this tactic just once in his assault on Henry Ford, and it took him months to recover from his misjudgment, both mentally and monetarily. Because remember, they put all that money out for the books. Ford was the unassuming, plain type man who just isn't worth the bother. He was the incarnation of those literal minded folk who do not possess enough imagination to be deceived. From then on, Duveen saved his energies for the Melons and the Morgans of the world, men crafty enough for him to entrap in his snares. In other words, men who had wants, needs, greed, looking for shortcuts. These people are easy to
Had money to
manipulate
launder.
because they want these things. Henry Ford was a satisfied, happy man. There wasn't anything Duveen could offer him or manipulate him into wanting from him at
Mhm.
all. I think this was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. It
I
was
can
really
only dream of becoming someone like that.
Henry Ford. If we won the lottery, I wonder. But even
If someone
like
tries to swindle us and we're like, "Huh?"
hmm. I don't think so. I think we would be the other archetype. I know I would become very paranoid. I would think everybody was out to swindle me. I know that. I'm not a very trusting person. So if I won lots of money like that, I would be a little paranoid of who wanted things for me. I would immediately assume everybody wanted something from me.
And if
Because let's be
someone
honest,
swindled
they
us, I
would.
absolutely would seek revenge.
Oh, you would be the number one. Like you would
I
be the,
would
the person.
I
Yeah.
would it would be revenge. It would just be revenge.
Yeah. Like,
Like
how dare you?
I would just do everything I could to make their life a living hell.
I'd be insulted. I would be like, "How dare you think I'm stupid enough to fall for your swindle?" Like, what? Really?
You know what? I might even do it just if they tried.
That's what I mean. Just if they tried, right?
Yeah,
Mm,
I'll just do
yeah.
it I'll have a private eye follow them around, and whenever they're trying to make a deal, I'll just drop some, I'll quote unquote, I'll accidentally drop information to the people that they're trying to sell stuff to.
Oh, gee. Interfere with
You
their
know, just
livelihood, would you?
accidentally.
Just accidentally. Yeah.
Yep.
They, I don't. I don't think that's a good way to spend your time. But like, I can understand the
Oh,
sentiment.
but it would be so entertaining watching him slowly realize what he has done, and how and get more and more frustrated. It would be beautiful.
Mm,
Come
that's if
on,
he knows it's
people.
you.
You have to agree. Watching a scammer lose his mind over trying to scam some people
And then
unsuccessfully is
get scammed
so satisfying.
and get scammed in back. You know
There
what?
is
You introduced me to that. There's YouTubers that do that. They
exact
actually
I was
scam the
just
scammer.
about to say.
I think one of our first conversations, you got a phone call from a scammer, didn't you? And you just like were playing with him for like, I don't know how long, like,
Yep.
and saying the most outrageous stuff. Were you trying? Do I remember this correctly? Did you try to convince him you were a serial killer by dropping all these hints about?
I believe that was one of them.
Like, yeah.
I pretended to be Donald Trump in another one.
It was ridiculous. You make me laugh. You really do. That's just absolutely insane. Like, but in a good way, in a very good way. Yeah. Okay.
I
Let's
kind
see.
of miss the scammers. I want to really like mess with someone.
No, really, I don't have time for it. I don't. Okay.
Yeah, but if I
I
can scar them
I
for
have a
life,
good
they might.
example of this kind of person. Do you want
Mm,
to know who it is? I want to get you off scamming
absolutely.
before everybody thinks you're a hacker and a doxer and a whatever, because you're not. I mean, it's a
Me?
totally different
A
thing. Yeah.
hacker? No, I can only find most information about people.
Mm. Okay. Moving on. A perfect example of this is when things go like right over your head, like you just can't get people, was Tommy Wiseau, the guy who wrote The Room and starred in The Room. And like he's a meme now, right? You do know who I'm talking about here, Rekkr, and I hope
Mm-hmm.
people out there do too. He's famous
Didn't
for
wasn't
just
I the
not.
one that introduced you to him?
No, but we did show it together to the library and a couple of other places, and we talked about it for like months with people about it. It was so hysterical. Um, and not maybe you did. I'm not sure.
No,
I
yeah,
don't.
I'm pretty sure I was the one that showed you the movie. I made you watch it
You made
because
me
you
watch
hadn't
the
seen it,
movie.
and I was like, "No, you're watching it," and you were like,
Oh,
"What? Am I?"
and then I made you watch the remake about his life,
Yeah,
right? Yes. Okay. Yes, we did a whole big thing. You are correct. You did make me watch the original. You probably did, and it was because we were on a show, and I believe it was Jared. It was Wood-handed. Yes, right. The Eagle guy. You know who I'm talking
I
about?
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had mentioned it. He made a reference to it, and I didn't get it. And that's when
Yes,
you,
and I had to fix
yes,
that.
you had to fix that because you, yes, you're like, you could not possibly not know who he is. Anyway, he's a whole, like, we have soundboard and everything. We have memes and stickers of him in my Discord and everything now. He's like a whole big thing. But it's because he was so genuinely unaffected by all of the ridicule about his movie. It was a god awful movie, people. It was supposed to
It
be a serious movie that ended up to be the best comedy ever.
it
Like it was
proves that her
unintentionally funny,
it
like all
proves
over
that
the place.
horseshoe theory is absolutely correct.
And he did. He fell into success with it. Like he wrote it. He did get, but he didn't realize that people were making fun of him. Like when he walked into the movie theater on this very serious movie, very dramatic about the breakup of his true love, right? And about like relationships and stuff. And the whole audience is laughing their ass off at everything. And he doesn't get it. It just goes right, like he's very unassuming, very not very self-aware of what's going on, like at all. It just it didn't affect him. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it is not worth trying to manipulate somebody like that or correct them. Like, he's just happy in his little bubble. He's just very happy in his little bubble, you know. He said that you can make fun of my movies and there's nothing wrong with that. I created the room for people and people enjoy it, and that's what matters. Even if they miss the point of what the plot was, even if it was so badly written that an actual serious movie ended up to be the comedy of the year. He says that because people were entertained, that's what matters. He just let it went right over his head. He was done.
He is
You
a
know,
precious soul that we have to
yeah,
protect.
yeah. They made him quite handsome in this picture. That's not what he looks like, by the way. AI fail. Like,
Yeah.
I think he'd be happy with this picture. He looks very Roman here. Like,
Mm.
he's like, well, he was completely immune to the criticism because he's too oblivious to, like, he didn't understand what they were saying about it. He can't be manipulated. He simply doesn't have the depth to be played against. He just wasn't in the game, right?
Yep. 1 second.
Yeah, mute Nate. Oh, it's done. There you go. So now, when it comes to these type of people, well, the I have two other examples here. The one for part 5, um, which would be Keanu Reeves, because it's not that he's unintelligent, but it's because that he is so gentle and forgiving. Like, he'll if you try to do anything against him, he'll just remove you from his circle. Like, he's just not gonna you're not gonna have access to him anymore. He remembers everything that happens, but he just doesn't play the game. He's not going to seek revenge. He's not going to go out of his way for any of it. He's just not in the game or the mind frame that way. He's not going to let anything affect his life or his mental health. Like, he just stays in his lane. And you just lose complete access to him. He pays you no mind at all, which is sometimes even worse than revenge or retaliation. You know, on the other hand, you have people like Jeff Bezos who are cold and calculating, where, like Keanu, he doesn't let anything affect him, but for a different reason. It doesn't affect him because emotion is never part of the equation with Jeff Bezos. Like, it's all only outcomes. So he's only going to exact revenge on you if it's profitable, if it actually meets his goals. He's not going to waste his time on emotional petty revenges or long-term disses. Okay, um, a very, very calculating kind of person. But I bring these two up because they fit the archetype 5, but not for unintelligent. And I wanted to make that clear that it's not that they're unintelligent because they're not affected by what you're doing. They just don't care. They're not in the game. You don't matter enough. Does that make any sense, Rick? Like,
Mm-hmm.
they're not going to let you like, Bezos is not going to let you control the game if he's trying to get somewhere. And Keanu Reeves is not going to let you affect his mental health. Like, he's winning at life, like staying in his lane, and he's not going to derail from it for anything that's not really, really important. Um, and I found that fascinating because they do fit that archetype. And so at the same time, if you meet someone like that, don't bother. There's nothing you can
Mm-hmm.
do to affect him. Either one of these guys. You're not going to get an emotional response. You're not going to get, which is, you'll have to admit that emotional response is, you know, basically part of how manipulations work when people are trying to control you, right? And steal your power. Or they're trying to
Exactly.
incite some kind of unstable, like trying to push you off your game and get some kind of response from you. And with these two guys, you're never going to get it. You're never going to get it. Not because it goes over their head, like with Henry Ford, where he's just unaffected, in like Tommy Wiseau, where he just like, he don't get it. Like, these two are very intelligent, wouldn't you say? Like,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah. So, in, I also probably in the beginning of this should have done a little bit of a disclaimer that in no way are we trying to diagnose mental health or disorders of any type, mental diseases or any kind of personalities here. This is all just commentary and some suggestions of people. It doesn't mean that they're like that. It doesn't mean like, they're doing these kind of things or anything like that. They're just examples for you to help understand the concepts of what Green put out there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to diss anybody. Well, maybe Drake, but I'm not trying to diss anybody, with these archetypes at all. You know what I mean? Like, it's, just to kind of lay it out there a little bit, Let me give you some names. Let's see. Rekkr. All in fun. Okay, let's before we go into the last part. All in fun. If I gave you the name Logan Paul, of the 5 archetypes, what do you think?
Who would I put him as? He sort of fits into both the hopeless, insecure man and arrogant and proud.
Mm-hmm. The insecure. I was thinking that he's very Elon Musky, like, so to speak. He has a disproportionate sense of power and opinion of himself, but it's also based with an underlying insecurity. Like, he puts that bravado out there, like he's all that, right? Well, he's pretty insecure. I agree. Number 2. Mrs. Cassandra's laughing at us in the chat because I had to bring that name up. I just had to. I did. Who else has been in the news lately? Oh, I just did a stream. I just did a video on somebody in true crime. If I gave you the name Russell Brand, where do you think he fits?
Ooh, he's sort of a bit of a conspiracy theorist, so I could see him as Mr. Suspicion.
Yeah, maybe, but I actually think he's a number 1. I actually think he's like, if you cross him, like I think he's very arrogant, actually. A little bit like conceited and over. He thinks highly of himself, actually, very much so. I think he'd be deadly.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah. We did Purple. We did actually. We were watching that. Let me see. Where is it? Oh. She says, "Did you hear about the live streamer who ran over another person on purpose?" It wasn't. Yeah, it was their stalker, someone who had been harassing them generally, and who was in the process of continuing to do that right then and there. Well, yeah, we heard about it. Quite the controversial topic. The people are pretty divided on it. Yep. Okay. So Mrs. Cassandra wants to know, what do you think? Where would Andrew Tate be with these 5 archetypes?
Insecure.
Number 2. Yes, definitely. Very, very much the insecure. Yes.
And arrogant and proud.
Do you agree?
Actually, he's pretty much all of them.
A combination, or at least he pretends to be all of them.
Except for the unassuming person.
Right. I would say he's 1 through 4, or at least pretends to be 1 through 4. I would say he's very disingenuous, so it's kind of hard to tell. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think, Mrs. C? Or all of you out there watching, because like we see you dipping in and out of the, the views. We'd like to know what you have to say. Like, hit us up later in the comments if you got time. You're watching this later. We do get a lot of post views. Well, we'd like to hear like some examples that you have of people you've run into like this, or even some examples historically in the entertainment, politics, or history, generals, worldwide, who you could reference to any of this. I'm really curious. I found it fascinating trying to assign people that were very successful, that were these archetypes that you'd have to be careful around. You know, I mean, the Murdochs in the Jeff Bezos of the world. I mean, they're ruling the world, right? So are like our president. Even the Elon Musks. They are all top of their game. Even at one time, Andrew Tate was too. Had a lot of money. Had had yes. I would say his world is kind of crumbling a bit,
Just a little bit.
just a little bit. And if you need any evidence of that, I got a playlist on it of all the legal charges if you want to follow it under true crime. Like it's down there on the channel. You can find it easily. So,
Let's just say his house of cards is actually made of paper, and not thick paper either. It's that Bible paper, the really thin stuff.
mhm.
That paper.
No, I get it. I get it. Well, we still have a little bit more of the presentation, and I'm going to let you read these. As you can hear, my voice is going a bit here. I put it on the wrong one again. So these quotes are right from the book, or from Robert Greene's book, The 48 Laws. And for those of you that like to follow along or want to read any of it later, I always link a PDF in the description of it. And if you want to look at any of these slides after, or any of the previous uh, streams that we have done, the actual presentation slide link is listed down there also. Well, take it away, Rick.
Okay, so the hunter. He does not lay the same trap for a wolf as for a fox. He does not set bait where no one will take it. He knows his prey thoroughly, its habits, and its hideaways, and hunts accordingly.
Hmm. That's a nice way of Green to tell us that a hunter doesn't waste his time. He does like Duveen, and he really does his research usually ahead of time on what he's trying to accomplish, who he's trying to get something from. So he knows everything about them, does his research, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that you cannot use the same tactics, techniques, and efforts to accomplish goals repeatedly. Like you have to customize it to the people that are involved. I mean, that is what I
Mm-hmm.
took away from this chapter mostly. And I think that's a life lesson. I think we know that about our everyday life, don't we, right? Like
Yeah.
how I may talk to you or ask you for something, would be different than I would somebody else. Like say I'm trying to get you to do another stream with me about a topic I'm not sure you'll be that interested in. Like I would have to gear that conversation towards how you're going to respond to certain things about that stream, right? I'm going to have to try
Mm-hmm.
to entice you some way with something about the stream that will intrigue you or perk up your interest in some way or give you some kind of benefit, like in some way, right? And I'd have to
Mm.
customize it to you. Otherwise, I could fail. Like I can't give the same pitch to everybody about everything. I might have the same goal, you know, but the technique, the tactic, the way you go about it, so to speak, has to be customized to the person
Absolutely.
the best that you can, you know. I mean, I'm not going to call you up and say, let's do a music stream on rap and we're going to concentrate on Drake, knowing how much you don't like Drake. Like, I should know you don't like Drake, right? Like, if I,
I mean,
it
I would still do it, but it would just be hours and hours of me ragging on him.
exactly, it wouldn't exactly be the stream I had in mind, right? Like, yeah. So, listen,
Basically,
we
yeah.
have, exactly. Oh, we have, and And this is from the book. This is the authority. You're like, I'll let you take that one.
Okay. And this one is to be convinced that there is no person so insignificant and inconsiderable, but may, some time or another, have it in their power to be of use to you, which they certainly will not, if you have once shown them contempt. Wrongs are often forgiven, but contempt never is. Our pride remembers it forever.
Wow.
Oh wait, no, that was one sentence. Our pride remembers it forever. I don't know why I saw that as two sentences.
That's very, very true sentiment there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't be treating people poorly. Just because you don't think they have any value to you at the time. They're not part of the process you're working on. You can't get anything from them. They're not part of moving you forward to your goal. You don't know where they're going to be next year or the year after. They may be the person sitting across the desk from you when you apply for a job. They may be the last vote you need to get a project moved forward. You know, yeah, that gentleman or young lady you're interested in dating, that might be their best friend. You find out too late.
Mm-hmm.
Now you don't have a shot in hell or any of those situations because it's grace is always appropriate. Like treat people how you want to be treated, and then you don't have to worry about it because, like, you may not even remember the slight. You just might just been, you know, mean and rude for no reason at all. That person's going to remember, especially if it's the kind of person who has the long memory or the kind of person who's so arrogant that any insult is like, how dare you? And I'll show you. I mean, you don't need this. You don't need this at all in your life.
Exactly.
Like, a little bit of preparation ahead of time, like a little bit of like reasonableness will keep you out of a lot of hot water in these situations. But to wrap up, I have to admit that Mr. Green's reversal on this was the shortest one we ever had. It's only 2 sentences. Seriously.
Yep.
So he says this: what possible good can come from ignorance about other people? Learn to tell the lions from the lambs or pay the price. Obey this law to its fullest extent. It has no reversal. Do not bother looking for one. In other words, you need to know the people you're involved with, the people that are part of the project, the people that you need to convince or not, or moving forward. You need to know. Take the time to know the people in your life that are influencing things that you want to accomplish. Like, there's no excuse for not paying attention to the room and the people who are in it. None. Like, if you don't do it at your own peril. It's good to know. It's good to know all of the players at all times. That's the advice Robert Greene is giving in this chapter, I believe. What do you think?
Yep. I agree. I think that is definitely what he's saying. Basically, know your environment.
Exactly. So, what do you think? How did you enjoy this chapter, by the way?
This one was actually not too bad. It was a lot more of an easygoing chapter. Just good advice, and like, yeah, some of the examples, he slants it. He obviously slants it in a way of like, know your mark, know who you're going to swindle, kind of shit like that. But it wasn't just obtuse.
No, it wasn't. Did you find it easy to apply it to like everyday kind of
Yeah.
situations, not like just big business or anything?
Mm. Yeah. It is. It's very easy to actually put it towards just everyday interactions, just getting to know. So if you want to make friends with someone, get to know them, get to know, find common ground.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. Um, and I hope that others like found a little bit of informative information like that they could apply, useful information, so what that they could apply to every day. Just recognizing, I mean, it was just fun trying to match up the arch. I had a good time trying to match up the archetypes that he was talking about to people, to public figures and celebrities and all. Like, I could have gone on and on and on. I could make a whole nother hour of just playing, ping the archetype on the celebrity, the famous
Mm-hmm.
person. Yeah, because that was a little bit of fun. But yeah, well, basically, I think that wraps it up. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that does too.
Mm. I would like to invite everybody to comment, on the video if you have anything you'd like us to clarify for you, or if you have something to say about anything that we covered here and suggestions. We do love to hear from you. I do enjoy answering the comments, and sometimes you have a good go at us, and I'm all for it. Like,
Tell us some other people who you think might be one of the archetypes.
yeah, yeah, we'd
Like,
like to
who do
hear.
you
Like,
think is it? What do you think? Like, what kind of does Johnny Depp fall into that?
he
What
does
what kind of
actually.
architect? What kind of architect is Amber Heard?
Exactly.
Um,
Try
just
Sarah
yeah,
Boone. If you want to go
Sarah
to true
Boone.
crime, like for
Yeah.
some of you that follow me for true crime, like let's pick our defendants, our prosecutors, in our defense attorneys and our judges, like which archetypes. Look, not that many of them were that evil as far as the judges and all, but still, there are some archetypes out there, like Sarah Boone. We could definitely put into one of these. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
um, quite a few, quite a few of the things. That could be a little bit of fun. But
Mm-hmm.
thank you, those who are watching behind the scenes, those of you that are in chat. Thank you to our mods who help keep it a little fun, throwing singers at us here and there. I do enjoy it. And for those of you watching later, please like, share, and toss us a comment. Let us know what you're feeling about it. We're a third into this series, and so far it appears that you know you're enjoying it somewhat. I mean, we are, but
Mm-hmm.
let us know. Let
This
us
is
know.
fun.
Yeah, it is. So I guess we'll be back next week.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. Mhm. And you're on holiday from university. So what are you doing all
I
week?
am studying.
No, what are you doing besides that? Man, I mean, here I am. I'm tossing you the pitch. You don't play baseball, do you? Because man, you didn't even take a swing. What you doing all
No,
week, Reck?
I barely watch. I tried watching softball at one point. It didn't work.
Mm,
Um, no, I'm doing music. I'm playing music every day, pretty much
on Twitch and
on
Kick,
Twitch
right?
and Kick.
Like,
Yep,
his links are
I
below,
am.
everyone. Yeah.
Yep, I'm. It's more of like practice streams. So like I'm not. It it's if you just want to chill and that. Okay, apparently my tongue just wanted to have an aneurysm. Um, and just talk and stuff. I'm all for it. And if there's music that you think would be good for me to learn, just throw it my way. I'm happy to check it out.
That's the fun part. Like yesterday, someone threw a stand uh song at you that you started to learn how to play. We're gonna have to go practice that
Mm-hmm.
one before your next stream. But yes,
Yes.
links are below. Hope you guys will go check it out. It's always a good time. I do thank you for joining the marathon with us this year on Christmas. Christmas Eve for me, Christmas Day for you. That was a lot of fun. You got to play and sing, and everybody had a good time. But yeah, it's good. So on
Yes.
that, anybody has any topic they want to talk about on library chats, I do like to do this. Like, it's not just with Rekkr. Anybody that has a topic that they want to go and have a serious conversation on both sides of it, or put some information out, that'd be great. Just contact us. I'm up for it. I'm up for all the conversations, to tell you the truth. Uh, but uh, well, for this series and more of the 48 laws, what is chapter 20 going to be like, Rick?
Chapter 20 is... Do not commit to anyone.
After I just told them we're going to be back next week. All right. Well, I'm making a commitment to be here. I don't know if I can drag Rekkr with me, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if he commits.
This will be another great one.
I can hear. You know what? You're trying to get me. I'm not going to let it get me, but I can see that this one's going to be difficult for me already. Like, Anyway, let's call this one, and we'll see everybody next week. What do you say?
Absolutely. Thank you to everyone that stopped by. It was great.
Thank you, and we hope to see you next week.